Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your day and that everyone has had a great week so far. We have a few things to discuss in this morning's video. Of course, we've been tracking this winter storm for the past several days. The main portion of the storm is now over the ocean, but we have some lingering moisture pivoting down south. This could bring a bit of a surprise this morning into early afternoon, especially for areas of the Carolinas. However, this system will also sweep across the mid-Atlantic, so we'll cover everything. By the time some of you watch this video, it may already be happening, but I'm very interested to see what unfolds with this snow band that could form in the foothills of the Carolinas and drift across the region over the next several hours. In fact, we're already seeing reports of flurries as far south as central South Carolina. We'll dive into that first and then go over today's forecast for the entire lower 48. We'll also touch on the longer range outlook as some indicators point to continued cold air and even the possibility of winter weather for the eastern half of the country. We'll focus more on that after today. I really appreciate you all trusting me to cover this storm. Most of the feedback has been positive. Of course, when views and engagement are high, especially with a significant storm system, there are always some negative comments. But that just comes with what I do. The more I grow in this field, the less those comments affect me. Current conditions. Right now, we have a piece of energy moving through the Central Rockies, bringing some snow to areas like Salt Lake City. However, the lingering energy I'm talking about is creating a wintry morning across the Great Lakes region. Looking farther south, we're seeing some flurries across the southern Appalachians. There are reports of snowflakes flying in Middle Tennessee and even as far south as Alabama and Mississippi. Some flurries have even been detected in the Texas Panhandle. What's not immediately visible on radar but is still happening are flurries in the Piedmont of North Carolina and central South Carolina. In fact, I just checked radar scope and there are reports of snow flurries near Newberry, South Carolina. The Greenville Spartanburg radar isn't showing any reports yet, but as people wake up and head to work, I expect we'll start seeing snow icons pop up in Northwest South Carolina. Snow is also being reported between Gaston and Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're likely to see more of these reports as the morning progresses. This is exactly what we discussed in last night's video. Snow bands are forming in the North Carolina foothills and moving southeast through the Carolinas. Will the snow hold on long enough to reach Columbia, South Carolina or Raleigh, North Carolina? We'll find out in the next few hours. Surprise snow update. This is the latest HRRR model update, and it verifies conditions as of about an hour ago. Let's fast forward to 7 a.m. This model suggests that heavier moisture returns could develop across the North Carolina, Piedmont, and upstate South Carolina. I think Charlotte could be the area most affected by this feature. In fact, Charlotte might get an inch of snow, surprising people who assumed the system was over. Local meteorologists have also been discussing this possibility, so it shouldn't be a complete shock. However, this could create a messy morning commute in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, and surrounding areas. By 9 a.m., check out this darker blue shading northwest of Columbia, SC. This could be a quick burst of snow. The atmosphere will be cold enough in the upper levels to support snowfall, even though surface temperatures aren't dramatically different from yesterday morning. By lunchtime, the model even suggests snow could reach Columbia, South Carolina, with snow still falling in Charlotte. If this model run is correct, it could snow in Charlotte for up to 5 hours, leading to at least some light accumulations. One thing the HRRR model indicates is that this snow band might weaken before reaching Raleigh, North Carolina, and eastern North Carolina, Virginia. However, it does keep some strong banding across South Carolina into the early afternoon. These aren't just light returns. Some of them appear convective in nature, meaning we could see heavier bursts of snow, a true burst of snow. I'm not saying you'll hear a clap of thunder, but I wouldn't be surprised if you do. I highly doubt it, but there is some energy in the atmosphere. The models show these snowflakes reaching all the way to the South Carolina coastline, and I'm sure we're going to get some widespread light snow and flurries. While it may not look very impressive for eastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, it's still interesting to see snow reaching as far south as Charleston. Bitter cold spreading across the U.S. A bitterly cold air mass is settling over the north central United States, extending as far south as northern Texas, parts of Arkansas, and even northern sections of Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. With such widespread and severe cold, it's extremely important to take precautions if you need to be outdoors. Cold air lingers over the northeast. Meanwhile, in the eastern U.S., areas with a deeper snowpack, particularly in western Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and upstate New York, are holding on to much colder air. The heavy snow cover in these regions acts like a natural freezer, keeping temperatures significantly colder than surrounding areas. While locations just outside of the snowpack may see single-digit or teen temperatures, areas with deeper snow cover will likely remain below zero through Thursday morning. Wind chills in these regions will be around 10 to 20 degrees below zero, so anyone heading outside should dress appropriately to prevent frostbite and hypothermia. If you're heading to work or school, make sure to bundle up in multiple layers covering any exposed skin. In conditions like these, frostbite can occur in as little as 30 minutes, particularly in the northernmost regions affected by this Arctic outbreak. Once this system moves out, we're looking at very cold temperatures tonight. If you check the NAM model, it appears much more aggressive, possibly too aggressive. Over the next 45 minutes, this light snow and flurry activity should become much more widespread. This system has a tendency to blossom quickly, and it's still snowing pretty heavily in the Tri-Cities area, Western Virginia and Eastern Tennessee. By mid-morning, the model shows a strong snow band forming and surging through central North Carolina. We have flurries and light snow all the way down into Columbia, South Carolina, moving through the PD region of South Carolina. This snowfall could last through 1 p.m., with flurries still lingering in central South Carolina. As the system moves east, the NAM model shows some flurries possibly reaching Charleston and Georgetown later this evening. I think this is a realistic possibility, as short-range models tend to handle these types of events well. In fact, flurries are already being reported, which means the models are handling this system quite accurately. Now let's check the latest HRRR model update. There's a new run available, and it doesn't show much change. It still depicts bursts of snow. However, it seems slightly less aggressive for Charlotte. That said, none of these model updates matter too much at this point because we're already seeing snowfall. The key takeaway is that scattered bursts of light to moderate snow will drift through the region, making for an interesting morning. Snowfall totals, it's difficult to say exactly how much snow will accumulate, but if we look at the latest HRRR model, it suggests around an inch of snow in Mecklenburg County and surrounding areas. It also indicates a dusting to a couple of tenths of an inch of snow all the way down into the Midlands of South Carolina and potentially half an inch near Greenville, Spartanburg. Now, am I saying this is exactly what's going to happen? Number, I'm simply analyzing model guidance. Sometimes people assume I'm making a definitive forecast, but unless I explicitly say I expect this to happen, I'm just providing possibilities based on the latest data. What I do expect is light snowfall accumulations in the areas the HRRR model highlights. Do I expect 2 to 3 inches of snow? No, I don't. However, I wouldn't be surprised at all if some areas, especially around Mecklenburg County, pick up an inch to an inch and a half of snow over the next several hours. I also wouldn't be surprised if South Carolina sees a dusting, possibly more in isolated spots. We'll continue to track this over the next few hours, but honestly, we'll have this one figured out very soon. The National Weather Service forecast is also emphasizing the Piedmont and central areas of North Carolina as the most likely spots for accumulation. If you want real-time updates, follow me on social media. I'll be tracking this closely. The next several hours and even into the afternoon will be very interesting to watch, moving past today's storm. Once the system wraps up later today, we can say goodbye to it. This is a short-lived event. Looking ahead at the rest of today's forecast for the southeast, we'll continue to watch flurries and light snow across the Carolinas and Virginia. By late evening and overnight, temperatures will drop significantly as cold, high pressure settles in. Expect a frigid start to Friday morning, so be prepared for very cold temperatures tomorrow. Northeast snowfall. For the Northeast, another piece of energy will swing through, bringing widespread snow showers across Pennsylvania and surrounding states today. The northwest flow will enhance snowfall across West Virginia, and some snow will start to develop in eastern Ohio as well. These snow showers may even reach New Jersey, New York City, and possibly Long Island. We'll see how much accumulates, but the system could bring a quick burst of snowfall before it moves out. Stay safe, everyone. I'll be back with another update tomorrow. We could see another major snowstorm in early March, so stay tuned.